There is a silent force shaping your life every single day. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't ask for permission. It works quietly in the background, turning your inner world into your outer reality. That force is thought. What you think about most does not stay in your mind. It sinks into your habits. It hardens into your character, and eventually, it stands in front of you as your life. Most people believe their circumstances control their thinking, but history proves the opposite. Thinking is the cause. Circumstance is the effect. Every great achievement began as a single dominant thought, held long enough, believed deeply enough, and acted on consistently enough to reshape reality. Edison did not invent light by accident. Carnegie did not build an empire by chance. Lincoln did not rise from obscurity by luck. Each of them carried a mental image so vivid, so persistent, that failure became only a temporary delay, never a final outcome. Your mind is a factory. Thoughts are the raw materials, and your life is the finished product. You cannot think poverty and live in abundance. You cannot think weakness and act with power. You cannot dwell on fear and walk confidently toward greatness. The mind does not negotiate with contradiction. It produces what it is fed. This is why most people remain trapped, not because they lack ability, but because they repeat the same thoughts day after day. Doubt becomes familiar. Excuses become comfortable. Limitation becomes normal. And slowly, almost invisibly, they accept a version of life far smaller than their potential. But the moment you become conscious of your thinking, everything changes. Napoleon Hill called this the law of the dominant thought. The idea that whatever occupies your mind most often, whatever you dwell on emotionally, must eventually take physical form. This is not mysticism. It is discipline. It is cause and effect. It is the unseen mechanics behind success and failure. Look closely at your current reality. It is a mirror, not of your wishes, but of your habitual thoughts. If your days feel heavy, your thoughts have been heavy. If progress feels slow, your mind has been anchored in hesitation. If success feels distant, your thinking has not yet learned how to reach. But here is the empowering truth. The same mind that built your current reality can rebuild it. Thought by thought. Choice by choice. Day by day. The world is not moved by hope. It is moved by conviction. Conviction begins in the mind as a decision. A decision to think differently than before. A decision to replace reaction with intention. A decision to stop letting the outside world dictate the inside one. Henry Ford was told he was unrealistic. He was told the idea was impossible. But he did not allow other people's thoughts to become his own. He guarded his mental space like a fortress. And because he did, the world eventually adjusted to his vision. This is the difference between those who lead and those who follow. Leaders think deliberately. Followers think habitually. A disciplined mind does not wander aimlessly. It chooses. It selects. It repeats what strengthens and rejects what weakens. Because repetition is power. Whatever you repeat emotionally becomes belief. Whatever becomes belief begins to command behavior. And behavior, repeated long enough, becomes destiny. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your dominant thoughts. That is why desire alone is not enough. Desire without control becomes frustration. Vision without mental discipline becomes fantasy. The mind must be trained to hold an image long enough for reality to reorganize around it. This is where most people break, not because the goal is too big, but because their thinking is inconsistent. One day they believe, the next day they doubt. One moment they visualize victory, the next they rehearse failure. The mind cannot serve two masters. Decide what you will think about most, not occasionally, not when it feels easy, but especially when it feels difficult, because adversity reveals the truth about your mental conditioning. Pressure exposes what lives beneath the surface. When challenges appear, the undisciplined mind collapses into fear. The disciplined mind tightens its focus. Edison faced thousands of failed experiments, yet his dominant thought never changed. He did not think, "This is not for me." He thought, "I am getting closer." Same circumstances, different thinking, different outcome. Your future is not waiting for luck. It is waiting for alignment. Alignment between thought and purpose, between belief and action, between the image you hold in your mind and the discipline